Welcome back to Kababayan Today. If you are just joining us, we have journalist David Haldane. He is here. We are talking about his book, Nazis and Nudists. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this on Kababayan Today? Well, it talks about his experience when he was in the Philippines. And if you're just joining us, one of the episodes that really garnered a lot of talk from the community was the episode that David was in with his wife. And in fact, he entitles the book, he says, "To my wife, Ivy, who came from a small island to make my life large." That's beautiful. Okay, so we are doing excerpt readings of this book. David, why did you title it Nazis and Nudists?
I thought you might ask me that. It actually comes from two chapters in the book. And my mother was a Holocaust survivor, a German Jew, and at one point in my life I went to Germany and ended up living with the son of a Nazi for some time. And the title of that chapter is Nazis. It was all about how we sort of came together and how I reconciled that part of my life.
Okay.
The title, the nudist part, is from a wonderful summer that I spent in Greece with a bunch of hippies.
Okay.
And we basically took our clothes off at the beginning of the summer and didn't put them on until the end of the summer, 3 months later. So, you know,
so a
youthful experience.
The reference for the Filipino Americans, why should they care about this book?
Well, really, the theme of the book is finding a place to call home. And for me, that turned out to be the Philippines. So really, that's the theme through the whole book. And the last third of the book is all about that, although it recurs throughout the book. It's finding a place to call home and to be at peace.
Okay, so we are in for a treat. Babasahin po natin an excerpt reading, exclusive, Nazis and Nudists, from page 161, David Haldane's book. It's called, the chapter, Pig on a Spit. That change began one day when I found myself sprinting through a rice paddy with a pregnant caribou in hot pursuit. Though ostensibly possessed of some dignity, I seemed to have lost it, at least for the moment. Moo, the animal moaned, obviously experiencing a measure of discomfort from her bloated condition. But never mind, I had almost reached the safety of the coconut trees beyond. My last cogent, though, before getting there, that this was decidedly not the kind of female companionship I was seeking.
If you were to put a map of the Philippines on the wall and throw darts at it, the chances of one sticking anywhere near Caridad would be minuscule. That is, of course, unless you happen to be an expert dart thrower and knew exactly where it is, which few people, even in the Philippines, ever do. Like them, I had never heard of the thatched hut village in Siargao Island. In fact, I had never heard of Siargao, a remote tear-shaped spot of land comprising about 170 square miles off the northeastern coast of Mindanao. So I had some serious travel planning to do.
Here's how it shook out. A 16-hour plane ride to Manila, St. Xanax, followed by a shorter flight to Cebu, then an overnight ferry trip to a medium-sized port city where Ivy met me with a cousin in tow. Before exchanging even a dozen words, the three of us had boarded a boat laden with pigs and bananas for the 3-hour trip to the island.
I can't honestly say it was love at first sight. The truth is that Ivy, so effusive in her emails, was too shy in person to even look me in the eye. Her cousin graciously took up the slack during awkward lulls in patter. But as we approached the pristine shores of the beautiful place where she was born, the look of the world began to change.
The first thing I noticed about Caridad, one of the several rural villages on the island and home to about 1,800 souls, was its multitude of brown-skinned, bright-eyed children with smiles as wide as the sky. They were everywhere, darting among stray goats and water buffalo-drawn carts. Nobody seemed overly concerned with where each child belonged. When they were hungry, they knocked on a door and got fed. It was as simple as that. Several, in fact, were doing just that at Ivy's house as we arrived. "So," her mother inquired in halting English, as soon as she'd shown me my seat, "You want to marry my daughter?"
The truth was that we hadn't yet discussed any such plans. Ivy shot me a dark-eyed, apologetic glance. Well, I responded, not wanting to be disagreeable. What would you think of such a thing? That was when I noticed the gathering crowd outside, already perhaps 30 people of all ages and genders grinning at me through open windows and doors. What are they doing here? I whispered to Ivy, not sure what to think. I wasn't prepared for her answer. They've never seen a white man before, she said. So there I was, a veritable Christopher Columbus at his own private Plymouth Rock.
It's wonderful how you are able to articulate this scene, and it's so vivid in my mind. Imagine, ang mga tao ng taga Caridad, never pang nakakita ng puti, di ba? Makikita nila. So of course, this is like a town gathering, and you met this woman online, you're visiting her for the first time, and all of a sudden it's marriage.
Yep, that's right. And it was a big deal for the town. It was kind of an event.
Yes, definitely an event. We are on Kababayan Today. We are reading Nazis and Nudists. When we return, another excerpt reading from David Haldane. We'll be right back.